Joining us now on the heels of that appearance on Capitol Hill is Aly Raisman. Aly, the trauma was apparent, the bravery was apparent, and just pointed out that maybe you guys did not feel heard after all. It's been a few hours since your testimony. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to describe how I'm feeling. There's so many different emotions. First, I'm anxious, I'm triggered, I'm drained. It's heartbreaking even just to listen back to my teammates and my very close friends, their testimonies. I'm so proud of them, and it's hard. It's hard to do that. It's hard to go up there and share so much. And I will say, though, I felt a little bit more hopeful with how supportive the senators were, and I'm really hoping that they're going to be able to help us. But very disappointing that nobody from the Department of Justice came. It just, to me, sends a message that they didn't think that it was worth their time, which is really concerning.
Aly, the FBI director confirmed that the two agents most directly involved have either been fired or retired. That's some accountability, but I know you think it has to go much deeper and much farther. What would you like to see happen here?
Yeah, you know, the retirements and people getting fired without explanation, it's the way I look at it is it leaves room for us to speculate or guesswork. And when we're talking about children being safe and sparing them from the abuse that I and so many others went through, in order for us to be confident this won't happen again, we need a full and complete independent investigation, and we need to look at how the FBI, USOPC, and USA Gymnastics, the interplay among all three organizations, all three need to be investigated independently, and we need to be looking at the connection of how all three work together. And, you know, as I said, that the senators seem to be very validating and very supportive of us, which we are very grateful for. And my question to them is if they can help us and if they can get those investigations rolling for us, because we've been asking for it for years. And until we have that, like, why did this person get to retire? What did they do that the FBI felt was not okay that they had to let them go? And why did they get to slip out the back door, just like so many others have?
It was sickening, quite frankly, to understand that you guys had talked to the FBI agents. And you said that an FBI person you spoke to tried to convince you that your trauma, which is so incredibly apparent, wasn't that bad. What did that agent do to make you feel that way?
Yeah, well, from the very beginning, when I was reporting my abuse to Steve Penny, from the very beginning, Steve Penny kept telling my mom and I that the most important thing was to keep things confidential. The most important thing was, you know, to give Michaela Maroney breathing room. He was trying to make sure we weren't talking about it. It seemed that his biggest concern all along was that this wasn't going to get out. It was never, how are you feeling? What can we do to help you? I remember one time I asked Steve Penny, just making sure that Nassar wasn't going to be at a competition, and Steve Penny said something back like, can you just sign your tour agreement already? Like, there was never any concern for how we were doing. And it's the same feeling with the FBI. I followed up so many times. My mom would follow up because I was it was so triggering for me. I was so afraid. And so my mom has been such a warrior and such a big support system for me and kept following up. We kept asking if the FBI would interview me and always told, I'm working on it. I'll get it to you. Don't worry about it. We're handling it. And unfortunately, we thought USA Gymnastics was going to be doing the right thing. And so there was a lot of pressure from the FBI agent to be interviewed at the United States Olympic Committee. I said so many times I was not comfortable with that. I was under the care of USA Gymnastics and the United States Olympic Committee. So I personally didn't feel comfortable being interviewed there. Steve Penny flew in the morning of my interview. And I just remember I didn't feel supported in that when I was going into graphic detail about my abuse, which is clearly, I don't know the proper definition, sexual abuse or sexual assault. It was clearly that, and it happened more times than I can even count. The agent just kept diminishing my abuse and telling me that, you know, he didn't really feel like it was that big of a deal and maybe I should drop the case. And when it was convenient for the FBI agent, he flew into Boston, even though I requested to have my original interview there with my mom there. when it was convenient for him and he wanted to convince me to take Nassar's plea deal or pressure me to take Nassar's plea deal, that was appropriate for him. He felt worth his time to fly to Boston. So it was just not a good experience. And listening to Michaela Maroney's testimony was just gut-wrenching to hear her experience as well. It's devastating.
Yeah, well, Aly, I mean, it is so clear that all of you were failed over and over again, and it's despicable to think about the young women, the girls who were abused after that first report came from Maggie, and they were waiting for the FBI to do something. Aly, you and your fellow gymnasts were so courageous. Thank you for speaking out. Thank you for using your voice. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Aly.
Thanks for having me. Thanks.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.